There we go.
Welcome to On the Water Magazine's Fishing New England. I'm your host, Jay Baver. Today, we're going to one of the few places in New England where you can catch striped bass almost all year long. We're going to join On the Water Magazine contributing writer Bob Sampson and our publisher Chris Megan on the Thames River in Norwich, Connecticut in search of wintertime stripers. Then we're traveling to Wachusett Reservoir with On the Water Magazine contributing writer Ron Powers in search of lake trout. First up, let's join Bob and Chris in Norwich, Connecticut on the Thames River, where they show us how you can catch stripers all year long right here in New England.
Yeah, it's a very unique river, and the thing that makes the Thames different than like the Connecticut or you know the what's the big one up in Massachusetts?
Merrimack.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
Merrimack.
Those are hard-flowing rivers that drain a good portion of New England.
Yeah.
This really only drains to southern Massachusetts, and this part of it really is more like a big fjord or a cove. I mean, it's tidal, but you don't have. You notice we don't have a big current.
Yeah, no, there's no hard current
you
here.
do get, you know, the tides run pretty strong, but it's really tidal, and like the flushing rate in this river is very, very slow. If you drop a ping pong ball here, it takes a couple days to get to
get it really,
you
wow.
put it in the Connecticut River, it's out of there.
It's out of there, yeah,
hours,
exactly.
Change of a tide, so it's a different river, and that's what makes this fishery so unique. I think the stripers, they come in here during the fall, and they just feed. These shallows are full of food, so they come in here and they get.
This must be
into the
unbelievable
shallows.
at night with the flats over here,
Oh,
and
it's really good fishing. We're using that's a 3/4 ounce Kirby Reed lunker grip head and a finesse fish, which is our classic lure. Now we're going to be.
now what would we out there would be just basically you were saying vertical jigging, just dropping it below us, 20 feet of water, and just bouncing it.
You might want to cast if we know there's fish out in front of us, but we're just going to cast out, bring it along the bottom. This is a little lure. This you can see has got some miles on it. That's a little Roadrunner jig head.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Jimmy Houston likes these things. And that's been beat up for years and years, but for some reason that little tickler on the bottom,
Just gives a little action.
Gives a little action. That's the bottom. That's all stripers right there. 5, 15, 17 feet of stripers. And some of these little, like there's a fish lifting off it. And those are the ones you're going to catch. Those guys that are just off the top. Got one, man. There you go. And no snags either. Well, at least this guy was legal anyhow. Out of his mouth for sure. That's a little smaller than average, but you do catch those little guys. There's times when you catch these little ones like that, you get the big ones because they're feeding on them.
There we go.
You got one?
No,
there,
I
Chris?
just whacked it. He's still there. There we go. He's right back.
Oh, you got one. All right, good.
Wow, God, he's
Come on.
gone. He just came. I think he took the whole bait with him. I wouldn't be surprised.
Did you lose it?
Yeah.
Okay.
See that?
Pulled it down.
Nope, I had him.
Got a scale? Yeah, that's another big one though.
Yeah.
The sizes. You're getting some real nice scales today. Very nice size scale.
Yeah, oftentimes when you're out there looking for a nice scale, I'm your guy. You want fish? Bob's gonna take care of the fish. I'll take the scale.
I'll tell you, it's snagging way too many.
I'm actually doing a study on the scales, try to find the average fish age of these fish holding over in here. Now, if you want the fish, Bob's the guy.
There we go. That might have been another snagger. No, he's got it in his mouth. That's good. He's actually not a bad fish. He's not a bad fish at all. I'm using pretty light rod. Here's 4-pound test. Yeah, we got about 2 or 3 feet underneath the boat. Yeah, I got a pretty good one here, Chris.
Do you?
Yeah. It's about a 26-inch fish, 27. I got a glimpse of it.
Oh, nice, huh?
Keep him out of the...
That's a nice
fish. Yeah, this is a
fish.
good fish. If I can keep them out of the dam. No, I'll get him. No, don't worry about it. I'll get him.
Let me bring it over here and I'll help you with it. You want me to bring him here?
Yeah, I got him. I got him. Open your mouth, you son of a gun. There we go. Not bad for first. Oh, pretty good fish, huh, Chris?
Yeah, that's right there, huh?
Yeah, look at that.
That's nice.
That's a good one. We'll take a tape on him. He's probably a keeper. I don't. In winter fish, not that great at eating. That one's 27 inches. Called that pretty good. Yeah, pretty good fish. Thames River striper. First week of March. This is tough. We're lucky to get one this size.
Nice fish. Oh, I mean,
A big one?
Yep. Yeah, nice fish. Bob, talk about where we're at as far as we were marking fish, and you said last week you were marking fish out in the water.
Right out where you see the current break was solid fish from here all the way down to that big building you see in the background. I mean, if you went through it, you might, if you looked at the depth finder 20 times, there'd be one time in 20 you wouldn't see fish under the boat, 5 to 15 feet. You got one there, Chris. All right.
There you go. Try not to, try not to foul hook these fish because you can feel them hitting your lines. You know, you can. Oh, let me just grab this. You can feel them hitting your line there. And the trick to it with these guys is that they're thick in there. They're really thick. And you want to try like heck not to foul hook them. You know, if you're jigging hard in here, you can actually feel them swimming by and grabbing your, grabbing the line on it. But this is incredible. We came down with a boat. We're dog fishing right now, and there's, as you can see all around us, there's striped bass being caught, schoolies. This is a small schoolie. Bob just took a nice fish, 27 inches. We're fishing down here on the Thames River, all the way up at the beginning of it, and just beautiful fish. Look at the color on these things. You know, March. What's today? The 4th, March 4th. Yeah, it's incredible. Down here with Brent Rinaldi from Norwich, and we've been picking up schoolies the whole time, and Brent just tied into a pig.
He's getting closer, tiring
What do
out.
you got for a line on this?
This is 10-pound fire line with a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader to help it disappear.
Yeah, there you go. The old fluorocarbon leader. We didn't have that. That's why he was out fishing us 4-1. Nice fish.
Oh,
Let me.
wow.
A big one?
Yep.
Yeah, nice fish.
Wow.
That's a nice fish. Brent, come around this side. You're gonna be in this shot, okay? Good, Brent. Down on the Thames River in Connecticut with Brent Rinaldi, who just picked up an absolutely beautiful fish. Looks like it's about 38, 40 inches, 25 pounds. Been picking up schoolie bass, and he's the high hook today with this one. Absolutely a great fish. Brent, nice job. Chris Mingo with On the Water Magazine and Bob Sampson, our guest today, showing us the way.
Growing up, I had always heard rumors about large trout in our local drinking water reservoir. Unfortunately, no one was allowed to fish there, so I never found out if those rumors were true. In our next segment, we're traveling to a reservoir where you are allowed to fish. On the Water Magazine, contributing writer Ron Powers takes us to Wachusett Reservoir in search of lake trout.
Beauty about Wachusett Reservoir is if you want to, you can basically just plop right out of the car and find a spot and wet a line. But if you're a little bit adventurous and you don't mind the hike, and it's a pleasant hike at that, and you can walk a mile, 2 miles into the woods and find a remote area that you can have all to yourself. And that's 7 days a week. Whenever Wachusett is open, you can find that. And not only is it the ultimate wilderness you'll find, at least as far as Massachusetts is concerned, but you'll find some wild fish out there too, including the potential to hook into a real monstrous lake trout.
This 24-pound monster laker was landed in a Wachusett tributary in 2004 by Mike Sinkowitz, setting a new mass record.
Generally speaking, we use pretty good sized lures out here. That finesse stuff doesn't apply to Wachusett Reservoir. You could almost take a saltwater sized lure and comfortably cast it out here and realistically expect to catch fish. Probably the lure more people use than anything else is a Castmaster, an Acme Castmaster. But, and I always use them, and I still do. It's one of my favorite lures, but last year I got turned on to another lure by Acme called the Trophy Spoon. It's 1 ounce, and check the finish out. I mean, looks like something you could wear around your neck, doesn't it? Looks like a piece of jewelry. And the hammered finish is important. That bright finish, that hammered finish is very important because oftentimes you're jigging in deep water and there's limited light. So the hammered finish reflects what little light is down there. And the brass, the reason why I like the brass is because a lot of the forage that the lake trout feed on here are goldish and bronzy in color. The bronzeback bass, smallmouth bass, they eat them, they eat small versions of them. Also, white perch, there's a lot of white perch in here, yellow perch, and even smelt. So it's customary for a lake trout to want to feed on something that is kind of brassy, gold or bronzy in color. Now, any rod will do down here, but generally speaking, through the years, what we've learned is the best type of outfit is what is normally known in the business as a salmon or steelhead rod, something about 8 to 9 feet, 8.5 being about perfect. This particular model I got here is a G. Loomis 1025 blank, and it can really whip that lure out there, you know. It really gets it out, and it's a very versatile rod too. You could be comfortable out here catching a lake trout with it, and it can handle any smallies you're catching here, and you could even take this into the salt chuck if you wanted to and catch fish with it there. It's perfect for like schoolie stripers as well. Now, what we generally like doing is letting the lure settle down to the bottom. Right here, I'm probably in about 30 feet of water, and giving it a snap, letting it settle on the bottom, feeling the bottom, giving it a jig. I want to hear that drag popping just a little bit every time I snap it. And when it does, I know my drag is set about right. Rather have a little too light, and then you can just cup the drag when you hook onto a fish, as opposed to having it too heavy, because you can't get that fish back once it breaks the line. This is the size we were seeing about 5 or 6 years ago. You know, we were seeing a load of these ones right here, and these small fish. And you know, we were cursing them because obviously this fish is about 14, 15 inches long. But in reality, the average fisherman that went fishing for stock trout in the local pond lake, they'd be thrilled to catch a fish like this. And we were like angry that we were getting so many of them. It'd be no problem getting 10, 12 in an outing. But
Nowadays, this is the exception rather than a rule. Most of the fish are much smaller.
That's the smallest one I got this year.
I put this in the water, this will literally disappear. You won't even see it. And you see how the eyes stick out almost like a frog or a salamander on top of the head? So the lake can look up above because it's usually hugging the bottom and it can see prey species and then make a dash and grab them. Let's throw him back in the water and hopefully we'll revisit him when he's about 6 or 7 pounds. You're going the wrong way, buddy. There you go. See you later. No, Rick, I finally learned. The light finally dawned in Marblehead. You were telling me you were fishing it slow and you were hooking up that way, so I put in a little less body English to retrieve. That's when I whacked it. Not a big fish, but a shiny, about an 18-inch specimen. Trophy spoon, beautiful fish. We're letting them all go today, but there's certainly nothing wrong with harvesting them. And they're scrumptious. They're absolutely delicious fish. Bye-bye.
Because of Wachusett's resident loon population, it has been designated a lead-free zone. Loons have been known to ingest lead weights lost by fishermen, giving them lead poisoning. Switching to steel not only helps the loons, but its sound-producing qualities can produce more strikes.
About 18. They're not getting bigger. Don't push the button. Let's see if the fish
You know, these lake trout, they're so in tune to their element. You see them, they're just made for Wachusett Reservoir. For example, a lot of times you'll walk by, how many times we'll walk by, we'll see guys with a stringer. And if it isn't for the fact that you can see the stringer, you don't even know they got fish on them, am I right? You see those lake trout in the water with that dark background and those light spots, and they just disappear. They're perfectly suited to this environment. Typical of members of the char family, which of course the lake trout is a char, it's not a real trout. Similar to what brook trout is, or Arctic char, or Dolly Varden. The dark background, the light spots, as opposed to the trout, which have the light background and dark spots.
Get it twice before he took it. Just barely pitched the back end. I could just feel it.
They're commonly referred to as fork-tailed trout. And as you can see by the shape of the tail, it's a definite fork, as opposed to other members of the char family, like a brook trout, which has got a square tail. And that tail is built for hunting down their prey and putting a bead on and chasing them down so they don't get away. And you can see the mouth on them. They get some good-sized dentures in there, too. You definitely don't want to lip grip a lake trout unless you get a good insurance policy. Let him back.
Lake trout will hit a variety of lures and baits. Ron's friend Larry Kettner had been waiting patiently for a lake trout to hit his shiner that he'd had out all day long. Oftentimes, the biggest fish of the day is caught on bait.
A little rat.
This is Ron Powers from On the Water Magazine. Lake trout fishing with my buddy Rick Holbrook and my buddy Larry Kettner. Having a good day. We've got a lot of fish today. This is quite the place. No real big ones, but it sure is fun getting out here. You ought to try it sometime.
Thanks for watching today's episode of On the Water Magazine's Fishing New England. If you'd like to learn more about today's show or get the best fishing forecast for your area, log on to onthewater.com. I'm Jay Baver, and we hope to see you on the water.